Hi, my name is Tammy and I am a human being. I believe that quilting has the power to connect us stitch by stitch. I created Quilty Chats because quilters always have something to say. Being a new quilter, I found myself becoming intimidated by quilters who have been quilting 20 and 30 years, the quilting police squad, and all the quilting rhetoric around perfection, perfection, perfection. And paying attention to that really started to take the joy out of quilting for me. So I decided to create Quilty Chats. Quilty Chats is a safe space for all quilters, but particularly beginner quilters, but all quilters are welcome, who just want a place to say what's on their mind and not be judged. So during this episode, I am going to talk to you about my pursuit of beautiful points in my quilt blocks. Again, I'm not a huge fan. Actually, I'm not a fan of perfection. I just want to get it done. But my first few attempts were very wonky. So I created what I call the strategic pinning technique. And let me show you the results of that. And so for those of you who are listening, what I'm doing is I'm holding up my latest quilt block. And on that block, you can see that I have nice points here. They're not perfect, but they're nice. And what I did was I used the AccuQuilt cutting system. I used pins. I used the Steam Fast iron, and I used a clapper. And all those tools enabled me to come up with this block that looks pretty good. It's pretty beautiful. It's not perfect, but it's beautiful. So let me talk to you about my experience. My experience was such that I was incredibly frustrated. When you start quilting, you just see all these beautiful quilts and you see these beautiful blocks, and you want to create those blocks right out the gate. And then you realize that you don't have the skill set to do that. And so I just played around with this technique. And basically, what the technique involves is how, like, when you're sewing and you're not supposed to sew over pins? What I do is I strategically pin my fabric and I place the pin so that it's approximately like 1/2 inch to the left of the needle. And what that does is it allows me to keep the pin in place as I'm sewing. Therefore, I increase the accuracy of the finished result. And creating this technique took some trial and error, but I feel pretty confident in what I've created. So, for those of you listening, I do have a YouTube video that talks about my strategic planning technique. I'll link it down below and check it out. Now, if you're a quilter and you have something to say, I invite you to leave me a comment and maybe I can get you on the show and we can chat together. I'd love for you to go to speakpipe.com/quilty chats. That's speakpipe.com/QUILTYCHATS. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I really appreciate you, and I will see you on the next episode.